So that was actually one of my very first Apple events I ever went to. I was sitting right in the front, actually I was sitting in the second row. I was behind Al Gore.
And it has a motion sensor, so when you turn it, it even lights up to show you where the I/O is.
I was like starstruck sitting there. And the event was good, and then they came out, Phil Schiller came out, and was like, can't innovate anymore, my like, look at the Mac Pro. My dream's kind of being able to have this Mac that suits my workflow as it changes, instead of having to kind of change my workflow for the computer I've already had. And this is kind of a departure, I think, for Apple. Apple's mantra has kind of been, we'll tell you what you want, and then you'll be happy with it. This Mac Pro, I think it might be the first time that Apple's going to let people build what they want. Rumors and Apple go hand in hand. The rumor mill's been going crazy recently. We got 6K displays, 16-inch MacBook Pros, wireless charging, AirPods in different colors, and all that's fine. But one rumor in particular has got me more excited than I've been in years. The new Mac Pro. This behemoth is how the Mac Pro's life actually started as a G5 Power Mac, and it stayed this design for over a decade until Phil Schiller took the stage and we got this. And then it came out. And yeah, innovative design. We'd never seen a computer that looked like that, but it was clearly like a design first, function second. Apple was banking on like Thunderbolt, all the things, and adoption happening super fast. Clearly that wasn't the case, and in the name of innovation, in the name of design, they went for two smaller GPUs instead of one larger one. And it kind of backed themselves into a thermal corner. It got hot, airflow was bad, and people just wanted to put in a normal big GPU that they couldn't inside of that like circular trash can. And speaking of that, it probably didn't help that like it did clearly look like a trash can. So that's the case, I think, and Apple's fallen victim to this in the past. Saw it with like the Cube. It was form over function. Hopefully they learned. It's been, like I said, almost 2,000 days. Like, what's next? Modularity is what's next. This isn't just like a rumor that I picked up off the internet I wanted to share. This is actually coming from Apple executives, coming from Phil Schiller and Air Force One himself, Craig Federighi, in an interview said modularity will be a cornerstone of the next Mac Pro. And that's significant. They said next Mac Pro.
So, as I said earlier, Apple needs to innovate. Apple needs to find new revenue.
But it'd be nice to have a truly innovative product.
It keeps getting worse. Apple seems to be spiraling down the drain faster than anyone could have imagined.
So the narrative on Apple is that they don't revolutionize anymore. And I'm gonna argue that Apple's doing what Apple's always done. Revolution followed by years of evolution. Look at their history. Let's take it back to 1977 with the Apple II. This beige box changed computing. And they made that same design for years, until we got a new beige box that changed the way we interact with computers. What's up, Rob? And every now and then, Apple thinks completely outside of the box, or I guess, Cube in this instance. And then Apple does what they've always done, revolution, evolution, till we get something brand new that typifies the direction of Apple for the future, the iPod. This changed the way we consume media and music, then it stayed the same for generations, until it didn't. So like today, if you want to build your own PC, I mean, it's technically modular. You're putting all the pieces together. But I think a lot of people don't either have the knowledge or the wherewithal to actually build a PC. I mean, there's also, there's a time element to building a PC. It takes time. Maybe you don't have access to like a Micro Center, or you don't want to drive to Best Buy, you can't wait for parts to be shipped to you. You can go to an Apple store, pick something up, and just drop it right on. So the modularity example here is as easy as, buttoning your jacket. You just take your module and pop it right on and you are good to go. There's no screws to have to deal with. There's no motherboard you gotta worry about. You just drop it on. And your vision for what you want your Mac Pro to be is kind of as limited only by, your wallet, how you want to spend. And your little base can get taller and taller and taller until you've got the perfect setup for you. Then when you're done, you just take them off and go back or sell them or rent them, whatever you want. The computer's just gonna work for how you want it to be. It also kind of takes the compatibility question out with building a PC. Is this RAM gonna work with the motherboard? Is the processor gonna work with the motherboard? You're inside Apple's walled garden, for better or worse. So you know whatever you buy with that logo on it, it's gonna work with your modular Mac Pro. So you want RAM, you don't have to think about brand, you just buy more RAM. You want more I/O, you don't have to worry about thinking if the motherboard's gonna support it. You just buy the I/O module. Whatever you want, you know it's just gonna work out of the box. That's kind of what Apple's been really good at. So Apple's not the first company to have this modular PC idea. A few years ago at CES, Razer had Project Christine, and it looked like we might actually get it, and then never heard anything about it. Also, what's really exciting is the potential for third-party modules on this. Now, Apple's not always known for opening things up, but if they do, imagine what there could be. Things like gaming modules. If you're an audio engineer, you've got all of your I/O built right in. The options that could happen when you have the foundation, and if Apple decides to embrace more of an open environment, could be incredible. It seems like Apple is heading to the inevitable merger of Mac OS and iOS. You can see how advanced the iPad is getting. I think the Mac Pro might be one of the first computers we see that bridges that gap. Obviously, as architecture concerns, Apple needs to start making their own silicon, or maybe there's sort of an Apple-made processor you can put on there where you can use iOS apps. It seems like something like this that offers flexibility for the future can prepare Apple for what that future might be, and even if that is sort of a merger of their two OSs. Having the word pro in a product for Apple, at least recently, just means expensive. It doesn't mean necessarily made for professionals. Something like this, though, could kind of bridge that gap between like prosumer and professional who makes their living on their computer. We've got YouTubers that are editing on $75,000 cameras. Those are professional users and professional use cases. This Mac Pro can appeal to everybody. If you need the extra horsepower to, edit crazy 16K RAW, you just throw on a few new modules. If you want to edit a video and you're doing it in ProRes where you don't need that much horsepower, then you don't need that extra modules. This is a pro computer that can scale up or scale down to the user. So where are we now in Apple's history? Are we at the evolutionary phase like the third generation iPod? Or are we finally gonna see something new, a brand new category? Is Apple at that revolutionary time where we get something like the next iPhone? I'm certainly hoping it's the latter, but I guess only time will tell.